Hey everyone, it's James at Yoreevo with our October 2021 Manhattan market update. And there weren't too many surprises this month. Basically, we saw the normal seasonal trends that we were expecting. There are some details in the numbers to note, but pretty normal October, all things considered. We're still seeing strong growth. That being said, we're going to start to see slower growth for two reasons. The first is that we're going to get much tougher comps. So let's take a step back and just look at this chart here, and you can see our comps going forward. It's the dark blue line here for the rest of the year, and then the light blue line as we get into 2022. So we could have year-over-year declines in contract activity next year, but it would still be a very strong market compared to any other year. So basically, if you're in this space between the light blue line and the other lines, that would still be a very strong market, just not quite the record levels that it was earlier this year. The other thing to keep in mind, and we can jump to the inventory chart, is our inventory is still low. So if we have fewer things to sell, we're going to sell fewer of them. I guess let's just jump right to here. So I went back and I just looked at, okay, for each of the last couple of years, how far back did we have to go in the inventory to get to October's level? So you can see this year, it's a little confusing. Where are we here? In the light blue, we're back to July levels. So basically, like, remember, the inventory goes down over the summer. We're only at those levels. We didn't really see the increase that we were seeing, the magnitude of the increase that we were seeing in September. And then we actually saw a slight decline in inventory in October when we normally see a slight increase. So that puts us back to July levels. If we look at which year is this, 2018, we're back to June levels. 2019, we're back to May levels. And then for 2017, October is actually the highest inventory for the year, which obviously didn't have a comparable. So let's jump right back to the numbers. Here we are. You can see we're up 44% versus the 2017 to 2019 average. We're up 34% versus September, so pretty normal levels there. This is that chart that compares the contract activity to both that average and the previous record. We're still high, but it's starting to come down. We should expect that going forward. Again, not indicative of a weaker market. A weak market is just a weaker market versus the record levels. This is showing the contract activity by price point. It's all over the place, pretty lumpy. I wouldn't look too much into this. Here's the contract activity by week. Again, not surprising. We're seeing a rebound on a monthly basis. We're going to see the rebound on a weekly basis. We have the inventory by price point, not much to note here. And then just on pricing, we're not seeing much of a change on pricing. The one thing I will say is if you go back to the contract chart, you can see obviously we were super active in the spring, and there were situations where buyers were basically tripping over themselves to buy places. Like a mini Brooklyn, like not as crazy as it's been in Brooklyn for the last year, but there were properties that had just multiple offers all above ask. We're not seeing that quite as much this fall. Part of that is going to be normal seasonality. Part of it is going to be that the market just isn't quite as crazy as it was earlier this year. Particularly downtown, we're still seeing well-priced properties get a lot of activity and sell above ask. But it wasn't quite frothy earlier in the year. But it's not as strong as it was earlier this year. So going forward, we're going to see a slow November. We're going to see a slow December because people are tied up with the holidays. We don't have as much inventory coming on the market. We don't have as many buyers going into contract. And then going into January is when we're going to see things steadily build again. That being said, there are a lot of buyers out there. There are a lot of listings coming on the market, even in the seasonally slow time of the year. So if you're interested in starting your search or refining your search or help with your search, let us know. We'd be happy to help, tell you what we're seeing, and obviously get you a commission rebate as well. And we look forward to speaking with you next month. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.